Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy, the Golden Boy, and today we are back on Apex Legends, and today what we have for you guys is quite an exciting video, I'm not going to lie. This is probably the most excited I've been on Apex in a very long time, and that is because they ended up rolling out a patch 1.0 or 1.1.3, I'm pretty sure, and this included a majority of things that the community have been asking for probably a month and a half now, ever since they did that last update where they added in the Havoc, and I'm pretty sure Season 1 and stuff. There have been things that have been broken in the game and things that have been very buggy in the game, such as Pathfinder, audio cues, how loud the game audio can be cutting in and out a lot of the time, and a few other things. But in this patch, they ended up fixing these things. I'm going to go over exactly what they fixed. I'm going to go over the least important things, and then I'm going to go over the most important things that they've added in the patch notes, patch notes that went live. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that are a little bit less appealing at first, which is quality of life. And the quality of life, they lowered the master volume to all sounds during the character's select screen, though the end of the drop sequence. So they end up making it to where when you go down from the ship, it can be extremely loud, and when you land, it can be extremely loud. You don't really get to hear anything off the rip. You have no idea who's around you, if people landed near you, beside you. They ended up lowering that a lot, and they made it way more easier to hear when people are landing next to you in that certain radius, which is another thing that they added completely as a whole, which is performance of audio. They improved the audio engine to be around 30% more CPU efficient, lessening the chance of distortion and dropouts, which means if there's someone around you, such as like a lifeline. This isn't even just for Pathfinder, because I know for Pathfinder, sound was just completely broken. You could never hear a Pathfinder, but this happened a few times for me and myself, where it would be like a lifeline or a wraith or something, and I could hear him for a second, and then I couldn't hear him. And now he would pop back up, and I can hear him again, and I'm like, yo, why did the audio just cut in and out? I literally heard him a second ago, and now I can't hear him. They ended up fixing that, so I'm very glad they ended up fixing that. They lowered the impact of data loading through the code of contact changes to improve potential dropout issues. Again, they just fixed that issue where it would drop out where you couldn't hear someone in a very close radius. So those are quality of life. They have a few other quality of life things that aren't really like too insane. Like they fixed like the katana knife for Wraith. That sounds a little bit different. Missing audio for like the flatline, like shooting, but like apparently like flatline and Re-45 and all that kind of stuff had like slight audio bugs where you wouldn't be able to hear like the last half of the mag or something like that. Something that isn't really too important compared to some of these other things that they ended up doing. Moving on to some bug fixes. Bug fixes is they fixed the wind down sound for the Havoc. There was a wind down sound where it would drop in and out like with the end of the clip. The Havoc, you would have a audio issue. They ended up fixing the things like I said with the bug with the Re-45 and the Havoc and all that kind of stuff. So those are a few of the bug fixes that they ended up doing. Not really too much in terms of bug fixes for weapons, because there's not really a lot of things for bug fixes of weapons. It's mostly just the audio and the hit detection that is super exciting about this update. And I'm very surprised that they rolled this update out this early, because this is very monumental for Apex as a whole to stay alive as a video game. Because this game, the first 4 weeks to like 6 weeks, and I know if you guys have played in the first 4 weeks to 6 weeks, this game was flawless. Like, this game was so much fun. It was a brand new game. It was designed so well. The movement was amazing. The audio was picture perfect, especially coming over from something like Fortnite. Fortnite's audio never really has been that great. So coming over from Fortnite to this I praise their audio. Their audio was insane. The movement was great. The gunfights, amazing. Fast-paced. The characters, I loved them. And then they did that update with the whole Havoc and the Season 1 and everything, and it kind of just shit the bed a little bit. But this is looking very promising, because if they're going to do these updates, we've been screaming for this for a while, and they just said that they're going to be more vocal about this type of thing too. So even though this isn't a content update, I know people want content. They're always pressuring people, for, like the developers, for content and everything. I'm not upset that there's no content right now. Like it is a little bit stale, a little bit dry, but I'm not going to complain about it, because I enjoy the core game. Like, I enjoy this core game very much. So them just doing these bug fixes, these updates to certain characters that were ruining the game, like Pathfinder's hitbox, which I'm going to go over here in a second, was ruining the game, man. Like, going up against every single Pathfinder, it was just getting absolutely exhausting because people were overusing Pathfinder. You're able to zipline into the high ground and just camp there and not move. And on top of that, it's hard to hit the character. So every single gunfight, if you have like an R99, half those bullets probably aren't even going to hit or register. You're going to get the bullet registration on them. It's not going to even touch them. So it's just very frustrating to do that over and over again. But moving on to just the absolute best thing about this patch is hit detection. Fixes that should eliminate many cases of incorrect hit registration. That is what they said in the patch. And what this means is that is pretty much directly, and I mean directly, towards Pathfinder. Like, I never really had any problems with hit registration on any character ever. I mean, some smaller characters like Medic and fucking the Wraith are kind of a little bit harder to hit, but you never have registration problems on them. Pathfinder, terrible. If you guys play this game like I do, it is terrible going up against a Pathfinder. They ended up fixing that. I played today. Oh my god, you can actually touch Pathfinders now. So they're not going to be nearly as used. People are going to use them for probably in the next week or two and be like, oh my god, I can actually get touched. I got to switch my character because fucking shitters would just use Pathfinder and crutch on that because they're not as good and they're not getting hit as half the time. So they're able to win gunfights. Like, I'm just so happy that they ended up fixing that. Tracking of bullet damage, logic for future diagnostic purposes. So, yet again, just touching on the fact that Pathfinder is completely just not broken anymore. I'm so happy for that. Also, they ended up fixing another core fundamental to these few characters, which is Caustic and Gibby. They ended up fixing Caustic and Gibby to where their fortified perk, which makes them take a little bit less damage for a certain percentage. I think 10%. I think it was. It would actually go through shields. So you do flesh damage, and then you do shield damage after. So that was another thing that I was kind of annoyed about, because every single time I'd hit a Gibby, I'd hit him for like 30 white, and then after that his shield would pop up, and I'm like, how much did I actually hit this guy for then? Like, does he have shield? Does he not have shield? But of course, it was a bug. It was a glitch. They ended up fixing that, though, so Gibraltar and Caustic's fortified perk are working perfectly now as intended, which is very, very good to hear. And the last thing that they ended up doing was where Gibby's shield, the one where you aim down sights and you have that 75 damage shield, or it's either 50 or 75. I'm pretty sure it's 75 damage shield. Arc stars used to stick to that. Now things are going to bounce off of that. So anything that you throw at Gibby, throwables, are going to bounce off his shield as long as he's aiming down sight. So that is a very nice passive ability for Gibby, I think, in my opinion. Definitely helps him out a lot because he is such a large character. He's such a big character. He needs those things that are going to help balance him out, you know, compared to Wraith and everything else. But those are the patch, or that's the patch that they ended up coming out with. I'm so surprised, so happy that they ended up rolling it out this early. Honestly, I was expecting this around early June, but it's just absolutely, it's enlightening, and it's great to see that they're making these efforts for the community, that the community has been screaming, and we just want to be updated. We want to know what's coming next. We want to be secured in what we're getting, because we don't want this game to die. I enjoy Apex a lot. I know a lot of you guys do, and I don't want to see this game die. I think it could go very, very far in terms of playability. I'm pretty sure they can get back a lot of the community. I think it still has a lot of community left. The Twitch numbers don't mean anything, honestly. People still play this game. There's a lot of people that play this game, and I definitely think that this game can become a lot more mainstream, a lot more popular like it was before in Season 2, as long as they do their things right. If they capitalize on everything that they did wrong in this season and make it better in Season 2, this game can be absolutely phenomenal. But hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of this gameplay. It's a 20 bomb with Wraith. It's a very sloppy 20 bomb, and that last kill, I just don't even acknowledge it. But hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Love this patch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Taking shots. Reloading.
Enemy spotted. Put the lead down range. Reloading. Listen up, I'm getting...
Setting a portal.
Spotted. Double timing it. Reloading.
Portal's ready.
Tango down.
Reloading. Enemy down.
Reloading. 45 seconds. Rings close. Reloading. Taking fire. Reloading. Whole unit, KIA. Damn, I'm good. This way, let's go! Deploying health drone.
Give me a sec. Recharging shield.
Just giving my shields a recharge. Spotted. Double timing it.
Let's displace here. 10 seconds. The ring's close.
Off the mic. Spotted.
Oh, painless. Knocking at the door. Getting shot at. Need to recharge my shields. Recharging my shields.
Care package being delivered. Give him a chip. Looks like a care package is coming in. Big thing. Smoke out. Spotted. Double timing it. Taking fire.
Give my shields a recharge. Target over there. Move. Down.
It's not
safe here.
Now.
Need to recharge my shields.
Whole unit KIA. Damn, I'm good.
Two of them. Patching myself up. It's not safe here. Picked up our teammate's banner.
Ring countdown.
Healing up. Eyes are open though. Let's go this way.
Using a med kit. What's up? I never quit. Remember that.
You're being aimed at. Reloading. Full squad down.
Good kid. Good.
Recharging my shields. Placing a portal. Portal placed. Map shows we're spread out a lot.
Red.
Opening fire.
Give my shield.
Enemy down. Reloading. Killed an enemy.
Good job. Taking fire. I'm down.
Let's displace here. Give me a sec. Recharging shield. Taking damage. Reloading.
You are the Apex champions.